Hey guys, Smith here with Minute Maintenance. Today we're going to be working on the Ford F150. We're going to be removing the front passenger side headlight assembly and swapping out a blinker bulb. Stick with me, got to get some maintenance done. Alright guys, so right here on the passenger side I have a blinker bulb that has gone out. That's going to be this bulb all the way down here for your signaling to let people know that you're turning to the right. Now, this is something that anybody can do at home. You don't have to take it to a shop. You don't have to have any special tools to get this headlight removed. And it's the same thing, same process if you're trying to change any of the other light bulbs within the assembly or the entire assembly itself because it's fogged over or it's cracked. There's only 3 bolts and 1 screw to get this out, and then you have access to all your bulbs. I know on some vehicles you're able to actually get to the headlights and taillights from behind the housing. Newer vehicles, not so much the case anymore. So to be able to get this headlight housing out, again, identical process for the driver's side, but today we're focusing on the passenger side because I have a blinker bulb out. It's just 2 10mm bolts right here. If you come down here behind this little mat, there's your third and final 10mm bolt right there. And to get this mat off, just a Phillips or star head screwdriver to get that removed. So let's go ahead and get this little mat out of the way first, and then we'll get those bolts off. Alright guys, so again, just a little star head screwdriver. So to get this particular type of fitting off, it's not a standard screw. As you can see here, there's a screw in the front, and then there's this big body behind it. The screw goes into the body, which causes the body to widen and holds everything in place. So if you're just over here just pushing while you're spinning, it's going to cause the whole thing to spin, and you're not actually going to get any progress. So take your time. You might need 2 hands, one to hold the back end still while you work just the front end out with the screwdriver itself. And again, I'm just being gentle. It's only plastic. If you end up deciding, you know what, this isn't that important to me, I just want to zip tie this back in place, you end up cutting this out or just breaking this bolt, not the end of the world, guys. So once you get that first part of the screw out, as you can see the body's left behind, shimmy that out, and there you go. Push pins out of the way, slide that off to the side, and now we have access to 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts. So I'll go ahead and I'll get this one off first. I got my 10mm socket wrench set to lefty loosey, so I can go ahead and get that sucker off there. Now, as you're over here working, make sure you don't have such a long socket that you're going to accidentally bump into your positive terminal. Obviously, my positive terminal is covered up with the mat there. That's good, but you don't want such a long socket that you're going to accidentally bump into the bare metal on there, because while you're touching this, you're grounding yourself, and that'll be a negative technically because it's grounded. To the positive, it's going to cause some arcing, some sparks, and could actually cause some serious damage to your system. So just be very careful. Go ahead and work this cat out. Come on. Now she's loose. Go ahead and finish her off by hand, and we'll do the same thing to bolt 1 and the final bolt number 3. Alright guys, now all 3 bolts are out, and so the housing actually just pulls forward towards the front of the truck. Now the only thing left are 2 pressure clips on this side, one here and one there. Don't worry about that, I'm going to get that paint cleaned up, rust free, and fixed here over the summertime. But there's 2 pressure clips, one here and one here, that actually push into the front fender quarter panel area over here. So just be very ginger. It's not going to come off as easily as you want because of those pressure clips, but you want to pull it straight out. Be careful, don't go pushing off to the side and janking around, because you might break your actual housing itself or cause damage to those clips, and then you'll have to replace the whole thing. So go ahead and take your time. It might take 2 hands. Just work some angles, and once you get like a crack exposed over here, you can start working that as well. I'm trying to be very ginger and deliberate and apply constant force. And this will be a lot easier with 2 hands. There we go. You hear that squeak. That's one of the plastic clips giving way. Looks like I might have exposed it. Oh, and it should put itself back in there. There we go. All right, this is going to take 2 hands. All right, actually, it's a lot simpler than I thought. So once I get this crack exposed over here, I can get part of my fingers back there, and then I'm able just to pull it out the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and get that first crack exposed. Then I come in here with my fingers, and boom, there we go. And as you can see, it's this pressure clip here, 1 flared at the top. Those right there, that push in there gives us issues, but now the housing is out. You have access to all of our light bulbs. All right, and the actual blinker one is right down here. And to get this out, actually, all you have to do, guys, is just twist this counterclockwise. So if you look at the face of a clock, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going the opposite. So you're going to the left. So go ahead and twist the whole body here, and that pops right out. And when putting it back in, as you can see, it's got these cutout sections here. One is wider than the other two. One is wider, boom, boom. Then the other two, just line that up and twist it back in. The bulb itself right here, my bad bulb, you just pull it straight out. Pops right out. As easy as it was to pull it out, you pop the new one in. Now, I know you're noticing it's a different design with an LED halogen style light. An LED light instead of halogen style light this time. And then again, just find the wide portion of the body, twist it in, and install of the entire housing is exact reverse. So once I got the housing here lined back up the way I want, let's go ahead and I'll push it that direction, which will cause those clips to pop back in. There we go. And then just reinstall bolt 1, 2, and 3. And then lastly, we'll reinstall our screw with our push pin set up there. Push that right back into that hole. And go ahead and finish her off. And boom, blinker bulb's changed. And how simple was that? In just a couple minutes, even though it's rainy and gloomy outside right now, we were able to knock out removing the passenger side headlight assembly on a 2013 Ford F150 Lariat, and we had access to all of our light bulbs. The only one that I needed to change today was my front passenger side blinker. Went ahead and took care of that. Hope you guys like this video. If you guys have any comments or questions for anything you guys work on, any projects that are going on with your particular vehicles, feel free to drop those comments or questions below. Please like and subscribe. And as always, guys, find a minute out of your own day to do some maintenance. Catch you next time.